Awesome. I just got to pull up the PowerPoint.
What's that?
I just got to pull up the PowerPoint.
Just minimize your screen. Everything you see, that's what you'll see. I mean, there, I guess.
It's nice I also have that TV. Okay. And Georgie wasn't going to use his, but Danielle might, so. All right.
So they can hear you.
Testing. All right. Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Awesome. We were going to start with networking, but I heard lots of great conversations. So we'll skip that and get right into our company administrator meeting. First, thank you to Corteva for hosting. Very appreciative. It's hard to find a space like this, so very thankful for that and thankful for Troy. Many of you have reached out to me, how can we increase our company engagement or employee engagement? And I just copy an email to Troy, and Troy takes it from there. So companies, if you are looking for extra help, ideas, Troy is a great resource for me and for you to use. And a lot of companies, if you want to know what they do, look at the top of the leaderboard. I'd say most companies are pretty open to offering advice on what they do, because every company's set up a little bit different. Some can send mass emails, some can't. Some you see everybody in your office every day, and some you might only see a couple days a week. So thank you, Troy, for helping me out. So I'm Kyle Wagner, Director of Corporate Events. I can't remember my official title. It just changed, but so I mostly run our Des Moines, our Corridor, and Quad Cities corporate games. And we've recently added Isaac Schaaf-Bowe. Some of you know him. He's a Ballard guy, Wayne State guy, go Cats. But he's going to do a lot more with our Corridor and Quad Cities games. But he's in town today, so we thought we'd show him how we do it in Des Moines, because it's where we do it the best, right? Matt's out there. A lot of you know Matt. Matt started the games back in 2016, kind of brought it up and about, and then helped launch Corridor, helped launch Quad Cities. So I am new Matt, and Matt is our COO now. And then Chuck Long, he's not here. He's our CEO. He's the former Iowa Hawkeye quarterback, but he's off coaching in the XFL for Arlington. Yep. Is that what it is? So you can catch him on ESPN every weekend and watch some XFL, but he should be back in May once that season ends. Jenny, I know you're down here. So I invited Jenny today. I like to bring a company from the previous year to just share an experience from the year before, share a little bit about what works. And Xeris was our Division 5 champion last year. So I'll invite Jenny up to speak a little bit.
Thanks, Kyle. Starting the meeting off. I didn't know that, so thanks. All right, don't have to wait. I'll try. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Jenny Hipwell. I'm the VP of People and Culture over at Xeris. Xeris, we're a tech company in West Des Moines. We do consulting services, so anything from like custom database development to virtual reality. We have about 75 employees. Most are in the Des Moines metro, but we have about 10, 12 that are also virtual too. And we've been doing the corporate games and have actively been participating since 2019, and I've been the corporate admin since then. So I thought I'd give you some tips, things that have worked for us, the benefits, our strategy. And as Kyle had said, we won the championship trophy just this past summer for Division 5. So as far as benefits, I was kind of writing through some bullets, and overall, just to sum it up in a nutshell, it's really helped build relationships within our employees and just overall engagement. We have company emails, company chats, and something that's really helped, I think, just with the engagement is that communication. So because we do work from home too, even us that are local, so we're definitely spread out. So even before certain events, there's usually a person that wants to be captain for each event, and they send a little chat saying, good luck in volleyball today. and then someone usually posts the results, or if someone had a tough game or unfortunately gets, sprained ankle or anything like that, like the whole company knows about those little things as if they're actually participating. So overall engagement definitely is a benefit. It's actually helped with our recruitment and retention as well. If you've ever competed against us, we have a lot of interns that are young people, so we get a lot of comments about that. But the interns are very interested in the corporate games. So they play a lot of intramurals, it seems like, on campus. So they like to know what events they can do through Xeris over the summer, and we really fulfill those needs through the corporate games. And because they're able to build those relationships with everyone, even our long-term employees, that ultimately helps us retain those individuals who interned with us to be full-time employees as well. And we get company t-shirts. So even those who don't participate, we give them a t-shirt, and a t-shirt goes a long way. So think about that if you're not doing that. As far as strategy for success, so there's the corporate games manager that I'm sure we'll get into later today, but we also do a Google Sheet with itemized each event, who wants to sign up. Everyone puts their ages on there. If it's within certain ages, like the track and field, I think it's age banning. But basically that lets everyone within the company know who is going to participate or wants to be a participant. People vote they sign up and they do a team captain, and that captain is in charge of filling the roster. If there's any last minute changes to the events or the meeting place, they're responsible for all of that. And that really lightens the load. I could say back in 2019, 2020, that was me doing all of that, and I would not recommend that. So definitely have team captains, and if they don't volunteer, I would definitely assign. It's gotten people involved, and it's gotten Xeris involved as far as things that we probably wouldn't necessarily do had we not participated in the corporate games. One of those is the blood donations, so the LifeServe. They've been really helpful as far as bringing a bloodmobile to the Xeris parking lot. So if you haven't done that, that's just another way to get people involved, even if you're not athletic. For the most part, most people can give blood, just engagement right there. That's really helped out. And also, people get a little nervous. Hey, I don't run, I'm not a track star. Just encourage them to participate. I did the shot put this last summer for the first time ever in my life, and make it a family event. My kids came and laughed at me when I did it. So that's really just increased the engagement overall. And last, a couple of memories, probably my kids personally watching and laughing me throw the shot put. Dodgeball competition came out on people that I work with that I didn't even know had a mean streak. So you'll find a lot of interesting characteristic traits about your coworkers when you do this. I asked a few other people what their favorite memories were. The ceremony for the corporate games is at the state fair, or it has been in the past. And we took the trophy down the sky glider and took some pictures. So that was a favorite memory of Mike Ross. And our CEO also, I wouldn't say he volunteered, but there was a Gatorade bath during the events too. So you can literally get everyone involved, from interns to the CEO, and I'd recommend it. And I just want to thank Kyle and his team for everything that they do, the number of questions that I email multiple times a day, probably because we've got very engaged people, and they help things go smoothly. So thank you very much. Good luck, everyone.
Thank you, Jenny, and I hope everyone made it out of the state fair last year. That was dicey with the storm that rolled in. I had to carry all of our equipment way out to the far parking lot and just absolutely soaked. So hopefully this year's a little bit better. I'll bring up Hannah next for our charity partner. We have a charity partner. It's Adaptive Sports Iowa, and that is they provide sport and recreation opportunities for people with disabilities, a lot in the state of Iowa, but even outside now. So Hannah, I'll let you have the floor.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for having me. Like Kyle said, I'm Hannah. I'm the director of Adaptive Sports Iowa. And if you haven't heard of us, we actually share the same office. And I provide sports and recreation for Iowans with physical and visual impairments and disabilities. And we currently offer 12 different programs that go on throughout the year, ranging in basically all ages. I think our youngest participant is about 6, and our oldest, at least like last year, was like 83. So kind of a whole wide range of people, all sorts of different physical disabilities. And one of the really cool things is that we get to be the charity partner for corporate games. And so what that means is part of each registration goes to Adaptive Sports Iowa, and what that money goes to is helping us purchase equipment, rent out venues that we need, help individuals who need equipment offered to them and stuff. So for example, one of our programs that we run is our track and field program, and that is where we lend out track racing chairs. You'll see up in the top left-hand corner, those are examples of track racing chairs. And we loan those out all across the state, which is really cool because it's probably our most far-reaching program because we can get it to just about any school in the state. And we basically train the coaches of the students on how to best develop those students' skills in track racing. But the biggest thing is that equipment that we lend out, each racer costs at least $3,000 to $4,000. And so that's one piece of equipment for one person. So you can imagine with all of our different 12 programs that we have, all the equipment and stuff that we have, all the equipment ranges from $2,000 to $5,000 for each piece of equipment. So that portion of your registrations is heavily going towards that, so then we can include more people. Our track and racing program is actually past capacity this year. We had to turn at least 6 or 7 people away this year because we didn't have enough track racers, which is a really awesome problem to have. So we're really excited this next year to expand that program. Another one of our programs is our RAGBRAI team. So basically, that's a cool one because that one reaches outside of Iowa. Anyone who wants to ride on RAGBRAI that has a physical disability or visual impairment can join our team, and we have people from all across the nation. This year we have 85 people on our team, so it's going to be huge. We're past capacity on that too, but it's going to be really fun. And with it being the 50th year of RAGBRAI, we're super excited. So just a huge thank you to you guys just for supporting us and helping us continue our mission here across the state. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Hannah. Yeah, so this year I think we have 73 companies, so it's going to be over $7,000 going to Adaptive Sports Iowa this year. We might still add some companies, so not giving a final number yet, but that's huge. That's 2 chairs to them. And if you think cars are hard to get right now, racing chairs are even harder to get. We ordered them in November, and they're still waiting on chairs to come in. So. But excited to partner with Adaptive Sports Iowa. So our agenda for the day, we're going to go through our community challenges first. I'll go through our team sports in the allfunathletic.net. I know you guys love athletic.net. The admin assistance, some sport and event information, our company administrator tools, the volunteer component. I'll spend quite a bit of time on that. And then a lot more time on corporate games manager and the software that we use. And then, of course, we'll let you guys ask questions. So we'll start with the blood donation challenge. I have Kyle and Danielle here right in front of me. If you guys want to come up and talk a little bit about the blood donation challenge.
Hello, thank you. Sorry. I'm Danielle West. I'm the director of our PR marketing team at LifeServe Blood Center. I want to thank Des Moines Corporate Games for having us as part of this challenge. I think we started year 2 or 3, so we've been with Matt for a long time, and we really appreciate this. This is a critical time of year for us. Summer is tough. People are busy, not thinking about blood donation, and you all bring in the blood donors that we absolutely need during that time frame. We've extended the blood donation challenge, so it's May, June, and July, so it's a little bit longer than the standard corporate games, so people can kind of double dip with blood drives and get people in twice during that 3-month time frame, or more frequently depending on what they're donating. So
Who is LifeServe? If you're not familiar, we're the community blood provider here in central Iowa. We support a tri-state area, Iowa, Nebraska, South Dakota, but every hospital here gets their blood from LifeServe and LifeServe blood donors. So they don't have those blood products without volunteer blood donors. And that's why we so appreciate you bringing in your team members to help us support our hospitals. I wanted to first give a shout out to our winners from last year. So we have a winner in each division as well. Last year we had Corteva, Shazam, INT, R&R Realty Group, and Iowa Soybean Association that won their division. And then we also give out an award for the highest percentage of first-time donors, and that went to Kingland last year. So congratulations to everybody from last year. I do have some numbers I wanted to share. I remember being here last year and talking about how low our donations had been since the pandemic. And last year, you guys really showed up to the challenge. So I very much appreciate that. In 2022, through the Blood Donation Challenge, we collected almost 1,100 units of blood. And in 2021, it was 463. So that's an amazing increase in that. And it's, again, very much appreciated through LifeServe. But I do want to go back pre-pandemic just to kind of illustrate the need that we still have from 2019 to now. So in 2019, through the Des Moines Corporate Games Blood Donation Challenge, we collected almost 2,100 units of blood. And we have seen an overall decrease in business blood drives of 56% from 2019 to 2022, which is not surprising. We talk about remote workers, and it's definitely been a challenge for us, but that's a huge loss. So we are trying to make that up, again, with these types of events and challenges. So we're hoping to see an increase again this year, but you really stepped up from 2021 to 2022. I mentioned May, June, and July. That's the time frame of our challenge. There's a few different ways to be involved. You can have our blood mobile bus come to your business organization. We can set up a blood drive inside your organization. We have Jana here with us today from LifeServe. So if you have questions afterwards, she helps coordinate blood drives for almost every business here today and can help answer those questions. If you're remote, if you're mobile, if you don't have a lot of people in the office, we also have 6 donor centers in the area. We have Urbandale, West Des Moines, Ankeny, Ames, Des Moines, and Pella. Those are kind of our 6 closest donor centers, and most of them are open 5-6 days a week. And we've also had groups drive people into the donor centers, and we can help collect that data from our donor center as well. So every company has an employee code that we will give you. There's cards in your packet. If you have not picked up your packet, we have a packet for everybody out at our table. We have cards in there that have your employee code on them. We can print more of those, give that information to you. And then if your team members bring that into the donor center, we can help collect that data that way and tell you how many people we've had through our donor centers as well. And we've had groups that have kind of brought a group into the donor center at the same time. So it's still a blood drive, just hosted on us rather than at your place of work. We provided 8 of those cards in your packets, hoping to at least get 8 people from your organization, if you don't already have a blood drive scheduled with us, to get at least 8 people into the donor centers. If you want more of those, we would be happy to print more and get those to you. Last year, we had 53 companies out of the 70 participate in the blood donation challenge. So that was 76%. Our goal is to, always increase that and hope that everybody participates in one way or another. And we do have a little gift for every blood donor that participates, because we're all about the t-shirts, the incentives. You get points for every blood donation and you can redeem those for a lot of cool things, but this is a special gift just for our corporate games folks. It's a cooling towel, so when you are doing the shot put, you can cool off afterwards with one of our LifeServe cooling towels. So we'll give this to you at your blood drive, or if you donate at the donor center, make sure that you get one afterwards. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to another great year.
you, Danielle. So yes, donate right away in May, so you can donate twice during the summer. Don't wait until June or July, so you can only donate once. And that is a separate award. You don't get points for it. Remember, it's number of donors, and that's a separate award at our award ceremony. And we will be probably bi-monthly, maybe weekly updates, so you can see where you're at compared to other companies. Maybe you're 5 people down from a certain company, and you send 6 people to the donor center and get some more credit built up. So we haven't done that before, but we're going to try and do that this year. So same community challenge is Meals from the Heartland Challenge, also a separate award. But we have Georgie and Joy here with Meals from the Heartland, and I'll let Georgie talk a little bit about the challenge.
Thank you, John. Hey, it's good to be back. Kyle and I were chatting just before this, and we started talking about the transfer portal that's going to come in next year. So if you have interns that you want to trade and get rid of, is that in the works? We can do that, maybe? All right. Anyways, my name is George. I'm with Meals from the Heartland. It's good to be back. I think most of your companies have probably partnered with us in the past, but just specifically last year, we had really good participation, just like the blood bank. We had right around 50, 55 companies participate. I think we had around 1,500 people just from the corporate games come out and package with us in June and July, which equates to over 650,000 meals, which is just incredible when you kind of do the math on our averages. To kind of boil that number down, just last year with just the people represented with these companies, we were able to feed 2,500 kids for an entire year, which is just amazing. And so when you come out to our packaging center or when we bring an event to you, the impact is really big. Just by volunteering just for 1 hour, if we were to come to you and do an event, most of those shifts are about 1 hour long. Each individual that shows up will most likely package enough meals to feed 1 kid for an entire year. So it's kind of a 1-to-1 ratio when you volunteer. If you come down to our packaging center in Valley Junction, those are 2-hour shifts. That kind of doubles in, and you're going to most likely package enough for almost 2 kids to eat meals. Know about us specifically, Meals from the Heartland. We are based right here in Des Moines, and we are a hunger relief organization. We were born back in 2008, and I don't remember the first year we partnered with you guys, but it's just been a great partnership. If this is your first year doing corporate games, man, you're in for a treat. These guys do awesome work, and I think you'll really, really enjoy it. So specifically for our challenge, we're open for June and July in 2 main ways. As I kind of alluded to, we can bring an event to you, so it minimizes downtime and maximizes participation. There is a funding component though when we bring an event to you. We ask you as the host to cover the cost of those meals, and so you're going to provide 3 things: the funding, the space, and the packagers. If you have the funding and the packagers but not the space, we have a space, and so you could bring your group to us as kind of a private event. It makes it just really, really fun, and the impact is really big. There's other options as well where you can bring groups down to us. You can sign up on our website for those other ones, and those shifts at our packaging center, we call those open packs. They're open to the public, and they're Tuesday through Saturday. We have a couple different time slots, and there's 9 shifts available. So feel free to just kind of explore those on our website if you'd like. There's links on this page, as well as we have a QR code out in the lobby here that'll send you to our landing page and kind of get you into all those links. But when I think about some of the issues that you guys are experiencing in companies and just society as a general, I think about anxiety, I think about stress, I think about mental health, I think about all those different things that you guys are trying to deal with, and how do we manage that? It's interesting when you look at the studies, volunteering answers a lot of those questions. And so whether it's with us or at the blood bank or with other people, I just really encourage you to really up your game in volunteering this year. Obviously, we'd love to have all of you down and package with us, and we can make that possible. But just think about how some of these extracurricular activities are going to help you guys manage some of those other office stresses that come about it, let alone just the good work that comes from that, from giving to other people, whether it's blood or food or all those different types of things. Really engage this and maximize this opportunity. It's really just a great opportunity for you. So that's what I have. Joy and I will be out here in the lobby. Happy to chat with you more, answer more questions, but we're excited for the year. And thanks to Kyle and Matt and your team. You guys do good work.
Thank you, Georgie. And we've done it as a staff. It's a lot of fun, and we turn it into a competition with 2 teams. So I think we should try and get every company to do blood donation and Meals from the Heartland this year. Let's set that as a goal to get 100% participation. Excuse me. All right, let's talk a little bit about our team sports. So we have the document on the screen is posted on our admin toolkit page. I can show you that in a little bit, but there are minimum number of people needed for team and maximum people needed for a team. The company deadline, so that's the Wednesday. It's usually about 10 to 14 days before the actual event. We need to know yes or no if you're having a team or not. We don't need to know who's on the team, anything like that. But it's about 10 to 14 days out. If you miss that deadline, just contact us right away and we'll get you on the schedule. We try and be as flexible as possible, but please don't reach out like the day before and like, hey, we're not in the schedule. So as soon as those schedules come out, check them. If you are on it and shouldn't be or should be on it, just let us know right away and we can definitely help with that. We never ask for any rosters except for track and field, and I'll touch on that in athletic.net. And team sports this year, we normally place out to 4th place for the placing points. So this year we're actually going out to 6th. So more incentive. If you finish 5th or 6th, you're going to get some placing points this year and not just those participation points. Little change. So normally we've done the triathlon teams. Last year with the E. coli in the water, switched it to duathlon. So this year, instead of triathlon teams, we're doing duathlon teams, and then you can do the duathlon and triathlon individually. So just easier and I think it's easier for you guys too to get runners more than swimmers for the most part. So I think that'll help doing the duathlon over that. And then pickleball, it's men's, women's, and a co-ed team this year, I'm pretty sure. I think that's what it is. So men's, women's, co-ed for pickleball. It worked last year, so we're going to do it again. And maybe even we'll see about adding more teams in the future. Big thing to look at is on each event page is the date, the location, the time, all that stuff. We did change a few locations this year, like the fitness walk, spike ball is at county. So make sure you check those before you go, so you don't go out to Waukee and expect spike ball to be happening and it's actually down in Des Moines. So just make sure you check those, as we did change a few locations this year. Track and field rosters. So this is the only event that we do require rosters. At least one person from your company should have gotten an email from athletic.net already. Last year we didn't get that going right away, and this year I just said athletic.net, give me access and I can take care of it all. So it's set up, it's ready to go. If you would like access as a coach to be able to add people, just shoot me an email and I'll get you added. But I wanted to get at least one person from every company added as a coach. You should have gotten an email for the one person. If you didn't, again, just let me know. If you need help with athletic.net, it's pretty easy. There's a template on our admin toolkit page for how to add people to it. But myself, and even Troy too, probably, he's a track guy. We've worked with it for a long time, so it's second nature to us. So if you need help, don't be afraid. And I would encourage you to access that right away, get your team page set up, get going. That way, like the week before the track meet, it's like, oh, I can't log in. Get logged in right away, so you know when it gets closer to the track meet, you can start putting your participants in. And then with athletic.net, we will have live results via aatiming.com. So that's something cool. As soon as the event's done, Brett Carney with AA Timing, he can get results up on your phone so you can see what place you got. You can go get your medal and show it off to your kids, and they can't make fun of you.
No problem.
And it's a good way to try something new. You know, you never know. It's by age group too, so there might only be a couple people in your age group, so it might be pretty easy to earn some placing points just to throw a shot put, do the long jump, sprint the 100. But make sure to train before you go. We don't need any pulled hamstrings this year. I'm going to pull up some items from Anderson Boger. So this is a company that actually participates in Corridor, and I think they got second their first year, and it was pretty impressive. Kind of how they just took the admin portion of it by storm, and I was like, how did you guys do this? And they're like, well, we created a lot of our own items, and they might be hard to see. And I can share this out too in that On our admin toolkit page in the Dropbox folder, we have a lot of items that you guys can use. I can put these in there, but they just have, they can send out reminders for admins on when those deadlines are with that sheet that we created. So it pops up, on that Tuesday. It's like, oh, hey, I got to decide yes or no if we're going to have a team tomorrow. That way you don't forget, and then you're emailing me or Isaac, like, hey, I forgot to get a team registered. So just a reminder for the admin side. Should have had all these open, I'm sorry. This is one that they had as a sign up for track and field and athletic.net. So they could easily import their people into the track and field site. We send out weekly emails, but they send out their own personal weekly emails too. I think that's a good way. We don't necessarily recap maybe personal experiences from an event. I think that's a good way to send out your guys' own personal experiences from an event that took place, whether it's cross country, trivia, disc golf, but just a template that they use. I think, Troy, you send out a newsletter too. Some of you might as well, but just a template that we have in there that you guys can use to share. They have calendar invitations. I know that's the big request that we get. If you declare interest in an event in Corporate Games Manager, you want to be able to add it to your calendar. We don't have that ability, but they kind of created their own calendar invite. I think if they see people that are declared interest in the event, they'll send a calendar invite to them through Outlook. Before every event, they send out information with where it's at, who's competing, and all those important questions. Yes, they're on the website, but sometimes an additional email can help people before the event. They send one out just explaining what the corporate games are and what they're all about and how they can participate. And then the last one, I don't think we have a specific sport captain guide per se, but they kind of, as Jenny mentioned, the importance of sport captains and additional admins, what the key responsibilities are for a sport captain prior to the event and what they should be doing, because sport captains will take a lot of the work off of your plate and spread it out, so you're not the people having to do everything. The other part I kind of want to talk about was, what is good participation? Yes, there's companies that win and are successful in it every year, but that might not be the most important benefit for you or your company. Maybe finishing 5th or 6th, it could be an awesome finish. Getting someone from to every single event, or someone from your company to every single event. Like the benefits that Jenny talked about, the employee engagement, talking about it in the office, all those types of things. Winning's fun, but all those are just as important and crucial to the games as well. Our calendar for this year is posted online, so we have the full event calendar. That one looks daunting, about an event almost every single day, but we do have your division-specific calendars posted as well. So you have a calendar with only the dates where your division is competing. So I'd use those. They're a little less daunting. And then I kind of talked about the sport and event. Every event page has its own website with event page with date, location, time, all those details, roster limits, who's eligible, who is our event host or our partner or our sponsor, all those details. So before your people go to the event, I would encourage them to look through that information. It also has the rules. It'll have the schedule posted, and that is also where we will post results. So if you have questions on the rules before you go, like, I don't know, basketball, how long are the games? How many points do you go to? How many fouls do you get? All those rules and stuff are posted on every event page. I do want to thank Cellular Advantage and US Cellular. They are our check-in sponsor. So at every event, as a lot of you returning admins know, we have a tablet or a QR code at every check-in. And you can walk up, tell us your name, and we can easily check you into our events. This is how we track points for individual events. So it's important for you to have your people check in, otherwise you don't get those points. You're going to miss out on 25 points a person if they don't come check in with us. So super easy to use. I'll kind of walk through that in a little bit as well when we go through Corporate Games Manager. So volunteers, this is probably the part I get the most questions on. So like Jenny said, you don't have to be an elite athlete to do the corporate games. Volunteering is probably the way to pile up points that people don't think about. So getting those non-athletes to participate is crucial because you actually get 50 points a person to volunteer versus 25 to compete individually. So it helps us. We need volunteers to run our events. We need scorekeepers at basketball. We need people to help out at the long jump and the shot put and our triathlon and cross country race. So we can't do a lot of our events without volunteers. But again, this is a great way to pile up points. So by April 28th in Corporate Games Manager, we just ask on your company page, and I'll show you where it's at, that you tell us yes or no if you want to take part in the volunteer programs. On the screen, you can kind of see how many volunteers, that's the required number. But it'll change after April 28th based on how many companies say yes or no if they want to do the volunteer program. If you say yes, that is the number of volunteers for the entire summer that you're required to fill. So 8 spots is not that many, 6, 4, 2, really not that many. And you can, like at track, you could easily send 8 volunteers and, but so we do assign spots, those required spots we do assign. And then every Friday in the summer at 8 a.m. on Corporate Games Manager, we open up some that can be claimed. They're first come, first serve. So whoever clicks it and claims it, they get those spots. So again, that's a great way to earn points, and it's a great way to get people that don't want to do an active event involved in the games. Let's see. And family and friends can fill those spots too. So this is the one way that non-employees can earn points for your companies. Don't send your 8-year-old kid to volunteer. We ask if they be 14 and above, but our volunteer spots are very easy. 16, how about 16? But they're very easy. It's check-in at events, it's raking the long jump, retrieving the shot put. And we train all the volunteers beforehand, so it's not like, you don't need any specific sport knowledge. But the more companies that sign up for that, the less required spots there'll be. And again, that's a great way to earn points. So I guess while we're on volunteers, is there any other questions related to it?
Do you still do it where you sign up for being a volunteer and then something happens where you can make it use up?
Yeah, yep. So this is also, there's a couple ways to lose points in the corporate game. So if you claim a volunteer spot and you're supposed to be there, or it's a required one that we assign and your people don't show up, you'll lose 50 points instead of gaining the 50 points per person. And then team sports, it's the same way. If you're on the schedule and you don't show up for a team sport, that is the only way for that you can lose points as well. So yes, it's like you've seen at basketball, if I'm working the scoreboard, it means volunteers didn't show up. So that part stinks. The interns running the brackets and I'm keeping score or reffing. That's when they don't show up. That's not fun either. But I don't like reffing. But other questions?
Brand new.
Yep.
Never done this before. Based on division, let's say it says 6 volunteers. Is that 6 volunteers once through the whole course? Is it 6 volunteers per event? What does volunteer mean?
Yep. So every volunteer spot is 2 people. So like if it says 6 volunteers, that's 3 volunteer spots, and that's for the whole summer. So we might send 2 to basketball, 2 to track, or 2 to trivia. And on Corporate Games Manager, it's time stamped. So whoever gets in there first, you can put your preferences. So on April 29th, I'll pull that list. Whoever filled it out first and put fitness walk first, they're likely going to get the fitness walk. Then I'll go to the next company and assign spots that way. Other questions? Yes.
So you can still double up, right? So if you volunteer at yoga and then go to yoga afterwards, you can get
Yep. So if you want to volunteer and participate in an event, it is possible. If you're going to do it, I would just ask us beforehand. Some events it works, like yoga, everybody's checked in and then you go to yoga. That's fine. You know, dodgeball, it might not work as well because, you know, we want you helping us with check-in and you're going to run into the gym and play a quick game of dodgeball. So like that one doesn't necessarily work as well, but just ask if you think common sense too, if it makes sense where you can make it work. Absolutely. If not, you know, but again, just ask. Good questions. Any others? Awesome. And if you do, we can ask at the end or find me after. Definitely explain on that more. Let's go to our admin toolkit page. All right, so up at the top here, this is going to be your best friend for the entire summer, the admin toolkit page. This is where we'll post the recording of today's webinar, so you can go back and watch it if you miss something or like what was Kyle saying there. He talks a lot, rambles on. Easy to find the recording there. We'll post the PowerPoint slide as well. We have our point system. It's how we tabulate points for every single event, so you can see how many points you can earn at dodgeball or trivia or fitness walk, you name it. We have an admin manual, so that one is for you guys in Corporate Games Manager to see how the admin side of it works. It's probably a 20-page PDF that just walks you through step-by-step Corporate Games Manager, because sometimes me explaining it doesn't work that well, and you can see a step-by-step guide with pictures on how to go through Corporate Games Manager. And then the one before that or below that would be for your employees. So if they want to know how to make an account or how to sign up for an event, that's where the one that they would use. We also made a video for them too. It's about 15 minutes long. It goes all the way from creating their account, all the way through to signing up for events. The sport limits, deadlines, and schedule availability, that's that document I talked about with all those columns with the rosters, the schedule, deadline, date, and all those fun details. And there are some specific rules at the bottom, especially as it comes related to co-ed sports and open teams and those rules and tug of war and all that fun stuff. Then we have just a comprehensive list of all of our sport rules. You can find those in one place. Track and field specific information. So the second one is that Excel template where all you really need, I think, is the first name, last name, gender, and date of birth, and the events they want to do. You put them in Excel, and you can upload it to athletic.net, and it takes 20 seconds. Or you can go into athletic.net and add them in manually, but the video above it will help you show you how to add people to athletic.net. Yes. Yep. So as Troy said, so if they're in athletic.net last year, they're already in there. So you don't need to re-add them. You can just assign them to the events. So that's the nice part about athletic.net. If they're in there from last year, they're already in there. But again, it's super easy to use. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. Here's where all of our calendars are posted and those division specific ones as well. Uh-oh, my battery's running low. Troy, help. But keep going. At the bottom, we have our promotional materials, flyer, what do we have? Poster, table tents, a sample email that you can send out to your employees that, hey, we're in the games, we're in this division, this is all the events that you can do. So just some guides for you guys. Have our InDesign files, so you can, if you have InDesign on your computer, a lot of different options, but that should take you to a Dropbox link, and you can select all those templates to use for employee promotion and things like that. And then our logo's on there. If you want to make t-shirts and put our logo on it, there you go. You might as well. Let's see, anything else on there? I don't think so. But if there's stuff that you've made and think we should add, send them to me and I'll add them in there. Anything like that. Or if there's stuff not on there that, hey, this would be very useful, just let me know and we can go ahead about creating that. People care, they want their company to do well. So don't hesitate. Even if you email me 8 times in one day, it's okay. We'll survive the number of emails, but don't hesitate to reach out. Here's our sponsors.
It's back.
Oh, perfect. That'll look even better. Thank you, Troy. So I will say sponsoring is a huge benefit to us as well. It allows us to do a lot more things, maybe go to bigger, nicer facilities, things like that. So if you're interested in sponsoring, we are definitely still taking sponsorship spots for this year. We have our presenting sponsor, Shaw Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. First time we've had a presenting sponsor. So thank you to Shaw for coming on board this year. You'll see our new logo. We're updating everything. So Thank you to Shaw and all of our sponsors. Pella, you've been a long time sponsors, our executive sponsors, so very appreciative of all of you. We have medal sponsors, sport and event sponsors, so you can be on our signage at the backdrop when you see the pictures in our emails or on Facebook. It's like, well, how come those companies are on there? So they're sport and event sponsors. Eide Bailey is our award celebration sponsor. BTS and Xeris, sport and event sponsors. IMT has been a long time schedule sponsor for us as well, and the media sponsor, Business Record. All right. So I would say now, if you're existing admin and you know Corporate Games Manager super well, now is probably a good time to get up if you need to head out. I'm going to get our Corporate Games Manager up and going. But so pros, if you're comfortable, feel free to dip out now. Oops.
It's connected to the internet, is it?
I'm not sure. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Kyle.
No, there you go. I'm not tech savvy.
We use it for screen share. I just don't know if I have the internet. Yeah, you're good.
Awesome. All right, everybody that left, I shouldn't get any emails from them. They know it that well. All right, so on our website, we have our dashboard here at the top right corner. That is where you go to access Corporate Games Manager. I'm going to log in as Troy. I can change all of your people and everything.
Yeah, you're not showing.
Oh. How about that? Well, bringing someone more tech savvy than me.
Maybe I didn't screen share right. That's good.
There you go. Look at that, you got it. All right, thank you very much. All right, so if you have anyone that wants to make a new account, it's this small text right up here, or new user register here for employees. So they'll click that and make their account. I'm going to log in as if I've had an account before. So everybody that has an account before, you can log in as normal, username, password, click log in. So the first screen it should take everybody to is the waiver. So every person, even if they've not been to an event or participated, if you go to an event, we can make an event on site for you as well. I'm going to agree to it just so in case I take a dodgeball to the noggin, so I don't get hurt. So then it'll take you to your team page. The first admin that signs in, agrees to the waiver, it'll take you to the team page, and you can fill out all of this information anywhere street. I like that. And if you want to be listed as something different, whether it's in Corporate Games Manager, I don't know if you guys can change that, or on the leaderboard on the website, if it's not listed how you'd like to be listed, just let me know and we can update that. I think they're all accurate, but definitely let us know if that's something that needs changed. So this company code here, this is what your employees will need to when they create their own account. They'll put in all their information, their birthday, all that fun information. This company code is what will attach them to your company. So if they put in the wrong code, they might go get assigned to BTS or ITA group, and then we'll delete their account and get them onto a new one. And then this is where you would like to provide volunteers, yes or no. You can change this as many times as you want up until that April 28th. If you're like, nope, we don't want to do it, and then in 2 weeks you're like, oh, hey, we do want to do this, this is where you can change it.
Question on that.
Yep.
So if we say
if you say no, then you don't get assigned any spots. It's only the companies that say yes.
Okay.
Yep.
But
So
is it required for some of these volunteers for?
if you say, yep, so if you select yes, then you'll get, those 2, 4, 6, 8 volunteer spots. If you say no, you don't have to volunteer at all. But if you say no, then you can't claim any of the open spots either.
I see.
Yep. And then questions. So let's say you're going to do company t-shirts. You can put, ask for their t-shirt size, ask for their cell phone information or whatever. You can ask as many questions as you'd like in there. I select yes. I'll select yes. Oh, there we go. Now our company's all set up, and it takes me to my own personal dashboard. So if you, down here at this volunteer, if you selected no, that volunteer part will not show up. If you go back in and change it to yes, that's when the volunteer part will show up. If you can change your if you want to change your password, you just go to the My Info, and you can change your password to whatever you'd like. And then in your own profile, that's where you select if you want to volunteer or your employees, if an employee wants to volunteer. So if they select yes, when you go into the volunteer page, they'll show up as someone that is interested in volunteering and you can assign them. If they say no, they're not going to show up on your volunteer list. So the next one is signing up for events. So this is all the events that you're eligible for. So you notice there's no female events for me. There's nothing outside of my age group. This is events that only I'm eligible for. So if the age is like you're like, why is it that? Your birthday's wrong in your profile. The one goofy event that we do is cross country and duathlon, triathlon. So all other events, it's your birthdays, whatever day it is. Triathlon and duathlon, cross country, that is your age as December 1 at the end of the year. So if it's showing a goofy age for that, that's why we use that as the age determining event for those events. I'm not going to click it because it's not going to work, but Burst Your Thirst is one of our events. It's a great one for, the people that don't want to do maybe active sports. It's something you can do right from your desk. All you do is track your water consumption for the summer. So it's a competition. This year it's only June. It used to be a 6-week competition. This year we've condensed it to 4 weeks. All your people must be registered by June 1st or 2nd. I can't remember what the date is. That way we can get all your water bottles ready and you can pick up those water bottles at the fitness walk the following Sunday. But you do have to sign up separately through the Live Healthy Iowa page. On the Burst Your Thirst page on the website, there's a guide on how to sign people up. And if you need help with it, just let me know. It's another outside, oh, there, that sounds a lot better. Outside site that we use with athletic.net. I saw a question.
So do our employees have to go in and individually sign themselves up, or can admin handle this?
So only admins sign up for Burst Your Thirst. I take that back. If they have the company code and the subsidy code, so in probably the next couple of weeks, we'll send out an email. It'll have a flyer. It'll have a group ID and a subsidy code specific to your company. And the team captain, I guess it's kind of confusing, is the person that has to sign up the entire team. So I would say that a good strategy is, you can see who's declared interest in it. For Burst Your Thirst in Corporate Needs Manager, I can show you how to pull that report. And then you as an admin can add everybody because people cannot sign themselves up individually.
For the other events as well, how does that?
Yep. So.
They have to go in and sign.
Yep, so they can do it. You also have the ability to do that as well. I can show that here. So if you want to sign somebody up for an event, you just go to Manage Employees, and it'll have everybody that's has an account in your system. And then on the right side, you just click Events, and you can add events for that person. So if I want to put them on bags Put him on basketball. I think he should run cross country. Just sign him up for a bunch. I'll sign up for a few for me too. So when you sign up for events, a screen will pop up with some questions, such as, would you like to be a sport captain for this? Golf, if you have a handicap, you get some pretty good golfers, but I'm going to put no to all those. So we encourage them to sign themselves up just because it gets them in their account and they can figure out how to use Corporate Games Manager, but there is a way to add if you have people that refuse to use technology.
They still have to send an account though before you do that.
Yeah, yep. So if they don't have an account and they come and check in with us at an event, we'll just make an account for them at that event.
Some of the sports have rosters, right?
Yep.
Yeah, people sign up.
Yep, I'll show you that one here. So this is on my dashboard, all the events that I declared interest in. So if we go event participation, so this has every team sport, and there's a column or a section for individual events as well. It has the total number of spots that you can have at those events and how many people have declared interest in them. So if you go, let's say we click bags. So bags, you can have 2 teams. And I'm going to sign, so if you want to add people to the team, you go in and click yes. When you click yes on them, it'll send them an email that they've been added to a team sport. But it is timestamped too, so if you want to do first come, first serve on who's signed up, it's timestamped with the date and the time, so you can go that route. Some companies might have their own competition, so they might go outside and set up some bags boards, and the winning teams, I need to quit doing that, can be the winners, get to play in the corporate games. But I'll just do yes. And then, so that person's on team 1. If I want to put them on team 2, I just go in, select team 2 from the top and select yes. Oh, my bad.
So when each individual signs up, they're just expressing interest.
Yep. So it's not actually signing up. It's a.
Do we have to go in and assign, or can we have a team captain that has access to it?
Yep. So team captains can do that. So admins have power for everything. Sport captains can do everything except select yes or no on the team. So if I go back to event participation. So if I want to declare that we're going to have a bags team, I'm going to go yes. And then if I click bags, if I want 2 teams, I got to make sure 2 is selected. If I want only 1 team, I'll just make sure 1 is selected. And so that's how you do that for all sports. It is changeable too. So if I don't want any bags teams, I just click it and now it says no. But these lock at 5 p.m. on those deadline dates. So if it's after 5 p.m., only Isaac or myself can change that. So you have to email us. But it's pretty easy, just clicking yes on what events. Yep.
Let's go back to that page. The one thing I would say about this for admins, if someone who's, just for your guys' benefit too, like that's what we need to go for roster. So if you're new to it, that's one of the most important things to say, hey, I'm gonna have 2 bags teams. Just check your yeses, make sure you do that. Otherwise, it's happened multiple times. And it was mostly probably some new teams just didn't know, or they just didn't know. But that's where they know it's getting from. So someone will go, oh, I didn't realize this is your most important part for getting you guys the information to know, hey, here are the teams who are participating. Not the individuals participating.
Yeah, as far as the
business. Yeah, this is the business right here.
Yep. So it locks at 5 p.m. Wednesdays. By the following Friday, we have a schedule posted. So on Friday, we send it out. If you're not on it and should be, let us know. If you're even vice versa. I will say it's probably easier for us to take teams off than add teams. But again, if you don't show up, that's where you lose the points. So if you see a company with negative points on the leaderboard, it's because they declared yes in all their events and didn't have people show up. So, yes.
If you have an employee that, for some reason can't make it, they can get a sub.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, yep. So if you assign people in here in the day of, they're like, hey, I'm sick, I can't come. We don't need to know who's coming. We just need to know yes or no. We also understand things happen. You know, someone gets sick or there's kids in the emergency room or whatever. Email us and let us know like, hey, we're not going to be able to make it. If it's an extenuating circumstance, we likely won't dock team points. But you know, if we don't hear from you, you're going to get docked the team points. But if you are in the schedule and it's just, hey, I had people back out, you'll still probably get docked the team points that day. Good questions. Any others? Yeah, yep. So the sport captains cannot select yes or no. They can add the people to the team and all that stuff, but only admins can select yes or no. So manage captains on the left side, that is where you can add sport captains. You'll just click new captain. And this is anyone again that said yes to, if they've accepted the waiver for the year, they'll show up in here. So if they haven't agreed to the waiver or logged into their account, they're not going to show up in this spot. So let's add some captains. What's that? Oh, at the bottom. There we go. Okay, so you add them as a captain, and then this plus sign is what sport they should be a captain for. Volunteer, again, this is that screen. If you select no, it's not going to show up. But this is where you can select the 5 volunteer or your 5 top volunteer preferences for which ones you want to volunteer at. I believe that does lock too. I don't think you can change that after you select it. So if there's any open assignments that are available to claim, Derek, don't claim it. He's notorious for claiming my test spots, but he's that competitive. But here's where you claim it, and you can just click claim it on the right side. If there's nothing that shows up there, there's no volunteer spots to claim. So I'll steal it so Derek can't. And then it would show up under my assignments. So if you select yes and we assign you required spots, those will also show up right away. Like May 1st, those will show up under my assignments so you can see which ones you need to assign people to. And we'll get those to you right away in May so you have plenty of time to get them filled. But if you do want to fill them, you just go over to the right and click assign people. You can assign an employee and click anyone that says selected yes to volunteering, or you can assign a non-employee. So you just type in their name and their email. Employees will get an email that you've added them to the volunteer spot. Non-employees will not get an email. Let's add Steve. And then the column there is how many spots that you need to fill. So that's number of people and how many you filled. So if it says 2 and 2, then you're good to go. If it says 0, we're not in a good spot. So this manage employee screen, again, that's where I kind of showed you where you can add events. If you want to remove anybody from your company, you can go in and do that. This is also where you can add people. So if they cannot figure out the create new user option, you can type in their email and then send them an invite. So that'll give them an invite to Corporate Games Manager. I would recommend having them sign up on their own for a couple. First reason is if you send too many, you'll get locked out of the website. And if you send way too many, it'll lock everybody out of the website. And then it's down for a couple hours and you can't add people. So I would encourage them to create their own account, use that company code if at all possible. So on your dashboard, we have our own little news section here. It has the calendar and the point system, and we'll put any other important information in there. You can also create your own news section. So you just click news on the left side and you can just make new news. I'll call it new news. Just really want to tell Matt hi. And then you can click publish. So that makes it active or inactive. And then if you go back to your dashboard, there's a section that says, hi, Matt. So you guys have the ability to do that. That'll only show up for your people attached to your company. Reports. So this is probably a pretty important piece of the games that you guys, only admins have the ability to do. You can pull reports by participant, by user. So that's everybody in your company, and it'll have them listed once, and it'll have all their information in one line. Or you can do it by the detail, so it will have them for every single event that they've declared interest in. You have your volunteer reports. You can see who's interested in volunteering. Company questions. So that's where you'll find that if you want to put the t-shirt size or anything like that on your organization page, that's where you'd find the answer to those questions. So you can get people the right t-shirt or whatever questions you want to ask. Volunteer assignment, that'll be anybody that you've assigned to volunteer spots. Event questions, that is the, you can see a full list of which events you've said yes or no to if you're going to have a team at. So it's easy to pull that one. And then the all important check-in report. So this one, you can pull it for all events. You can pull it for a specific event. So let's say Sunday, halfway through the fitness walk, you want to see how many people have been there. You guys can log in, go to reports, and pull in and see who's checked in for your company only at the fitness walk. So you can see, hey, we've had 10 people or we've had 20. This is also great for the virtual events. So if we have the virtual fitness walk is on Friday and it goes until Monday, I think at 8 a.m. Let's say Sunday night, there's somebody that, they said that they did it, but they're not on the check-in report. Just have them check in again, and you can only check in once. You could check in 30 times. It'll only pull your most recent one, so you can't get 30 times 25 points per person. So if anyone's like, I think I checked in, I'm not sure, this is where you can go and see that. Or if you can't figure it out, email us and we can easily look and see who's checked in and who hasn't. Yes.
We've had interest from our company committee about some of these reports from last year's participation.
Yep.
Is that available in the same place?
I can send them to you. So just shoot me an email and I can send them. My advice is in August next year, pull all these reports and save them, and then you have them for right now. So you can pull a list of who did the fitness walk last year, and you can send a company, a specific email to those people, or hey, do you want to do dodgeball again? You can pull it by specific events. Other questions?
If I change the company questions, where will it show? Will it show up for participants that have already signed up?
Yes. So if you go to your dashboard.
And if they haven't answered it, it will alert them if they have a question to answer.
Yep. So if they haven't answered that t-shirt question or whatever questions you have, right under the name and the company, it'll say like red text, like you have questions that you need to answer. They'll just go to my info or my profile and they can answer them on that page. Second question.
So let's see.
No, I cannot throw the shot put for you.
Not this year, but next year.
No.
So then, let's say that I think I found a discrepancy between the points we think we should have gotten and what is reported overall or detail or something like that. Does it make your life easier if I report it by?
Right away.
Right away?
Yep. So if you have different points from us, let us know right away. It's a lot better than the last week of July. We're not going to go back and add points from the fitness walk 6 weeks ago,
That has come up.
Yep. And we use Excel. Excel has errors. I make a lot of errors. So I know a lot of you tech companies probably have better software that can tally all the points better than us. The one difficult part is the volunteer part, because those points you guys aren't really, we're going to try and post those this year. So on the dodgeball results page, we're kind of going to post which companies had volunteers and how many volunteer points they got. So that should help. But that's where most of the discrepancies are. But don't wait until the end of July to be like, hey, this person didn't check in at the virtual fitness walk in June. We're not going to add them then, but if you reach out to us right away, we'll get people added or get points corrected.
Same 24 hour, like, I didn't run into this problem last year, so
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be a problem.
No, yeah, I don't want to put a certain time on it just because, you know, if I'm in Cedar Rapids at an event and I'm not checking emails, I'm not going to get to it right away, you know, so, but as quick as possible.
I don't have to worry about getting within 6 hours of the end of the event.
No.
I have to send, okay.
No. Let's say 48 hours would be awesome. As soon, like, you know, when we post those results, look through them. If someone's missing, let us know right away.
We had a company after the last event last year, and not in Des Moines, but reached out about, like Kyle said, a fitness walk. Like we didn't see these people checked in with small list, which would have been enough to move them in the place standings, and that created a conundrum.
Yeah.
Like, well, you waited a long time to tell us, and now it looks a little fishy.
Yeah, it would have changed which company got first and second at the end of the year. So
That was
don't.
So we don't want to have to deal with that.
Don't wait. Is there another question? I thought I saw a hand over here. Awesome. See if I can figure out how to get back, Troy. What'd I do now?
No, it looks like he's trying to reboot. This is not my day.
Hey, the week can only get better, right? That's kind of it. I can answer more corporate games questions, anything specific that you have. Now's the time. If you want to come up and find me. I will say if you have an account in Corporate Games Manager already, you can log in as normal. It's open and ready to go. Your people can start signing up for events. If you don't have an account, we will send you a manual email with login instructions. So we'll probably get it to you by early afternoon at the latest. If you haven't got it, let us know and we'll get you added.
Everything is live.
Everything is live, yep. And if there are mistakes, dates or anything, let me know. I might have had COVID when we announced it all, so my brain was a little foggy, but what's that? Yep. I should have said that earlier. It's so hard, you bounce all over.